All right, this is it. My name is Jeff K, and you're listening to episode 236 of the world famous West Virginia Surf Report podcast.
Hello, world.
Struggling a little bit with this one. I think I've done the intro and the beginning of this thing. This might be the fifth time. I don't know. I can't get it rolling. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, welcome back to another episode. I hope you guys are doing well wherever you are, your little corner of the world. My corner's fine. Thanks for asking. I got another one of these late days today where I have to go in late. Well, I don't have to go in. They allow me to go in late and then work late. I have to work until 1:30 a.m. You know, the late arrival, the late start is designed to be, take the sting out of the work until 1:30. Doesn't really help all that much. I mean, it still feels like I'm there for 14 straight hours. I don't know why, but anyway, enough of that nonsense. Hope you guys are doing well. I have a few things jotted down before we get started, though. Yesterday, as I record this, I posted a new update to the Surf Report website, the WBSR.com, and in it I share a photograph, or not a photograph, but it's a cartoon version. Like, I hired this guy through Fiverr to create a cartoon version of my head. Like, I sent him a photograph of my face, and he had good ratings. He had like a 4.9 out of 5. He had like 102 people had reviewed him. 4.9, I think, and it cost $10. Wasn't that much. It was relatively inexpensive. Well, it was inexpensive, right? And I chose this guy because he had 24-hour turnaround. Some of these people say, we'll send it back to you in 5 days. 5 days? That is an eternity. I can't wait 5 days. This is America. Anyway, so I chose this guy. There were several people on there that would do this kind of service. You ever use Fiverr? Oh, man. It's a cornucopia of nonsense. I mean, sometimes you get really good work out of there. In fact, I met Producer Zip through Fiverr, and that's worked out great. And I've hired people on there to do all kinds of stuff, mostly graphic work, doing artwork and that kind of stuff for my website and stuff like that. And sometimes you get good results, and sometimes you don't. Usually it doesn't cost very much. It used to be $5. Everything was $5. Hence the name Fiverr, right? But now that's all out the window. People charge anything. I mean, there's people on there charging like $1,000 and stuff. But you can still get inexpensive stuff. And I hired this guy because I have this little side project, and the result was unbelievably bad. I got this thing back. I'm like, what? Who is that? That's not me. All right, so you can check it out, the WBSR.com. I put the photograph up there. I made it as large as I could. It's not a photograph, but you know what I'm saying. It's what he sent back. This is the cartoon version of my head, or my face, I guess. Check it out, the WBSR.com. I'll link to it in the show notes. Also, in that update, I talked about that woman, that female singer, that lady singer from some band I never heard of in my life, that just called some guy up on the stage, had him lay down on the stage, and she just unloaded 5 gallons of urine right in his face. Just pulled her pants down and just pissed in the guy's face. Have you seen this? Oh, it's the talk of the world. Everybody's talking about this. I'll link to that too. So if you're interested in seeing that abomination, how and what, who, why? This guy's like reveling in it too. He's like, oh yeah, I'm making rock and roll history right here. And this woman's you talk about well hydrated. She offloaded an enormous amount of fluid right on this guy's face. So anyway, you can check all that out, the WBSR.com. And it's an entertaining short little update, I think. So anyway, I have a few things written down today that I wanted to discuss. Last night I came home from work. I was hungry. I'm always hungry. That's not anything out of the ordinary. Constantly hungry. It takes a lot of fuel to keep this machine running. It takes a lot. So I came home, I was hungry, I'm like, what can I eat, And I started wondering, what do people eat, like, late at night, right before they go to bed, What do most people, what is a good midnight snack? And I'd like to get your feedback on that. What is a good midnight snack? And if you shame me with, I like, some cut up fruit, I like a small yogurt, a small container of Greek yogurt with maybe some sprinkles on top of it, some granola. Don't shame me with that shit. This is real life, all right? This is like, anyway. I guess if that's what you really and truly eat as a midnight snack, that's your business, but mine's not going to be along those lines. Anyway, so my favorites, if there is any available, it's not always available, but had 2 slices of toast with apple butter on it. Yeah, apple butter is I've always liked that all my life. I don't know, I think my grandmother used to serve that stuff up. I always liked it. I thought it was a tasty treat, And I don't know, I don't think you don't hear too many people talking about apple butter. I think that's like maybe some like old lady thing. I don't know, I could be wrong. But I've always liked it. And if you go to these like farmers markets and that kind of stuff, there's people there usually selling like homemade apple butter and stuff. Oh, it's delicious. So I had 2 slices of toast with some apple butter on it. It hit the spot. It was perfect. Another midnight snack that I enjoy is a big bowl of cornflakes or Rice Krispies. I like the simple cereals. I don't like the big sugary, multicolored, anything with any kind of those so-called marshmallows that are like pencil erasers. Yeah, I don't like that. I just like the normal, just straight up, the same kind of cereal that people used to eat in the 1800s. That's the kind of stuff I like, I like cornflakes. That's my, I go to the store and I buy this giant, like a huge box. It costs like, I don't know, $5 or something. And that thing, that serves me well. And you cut up some bananas in the thing. Oh, it's good. It's a good midnight snack. A big bowl of corn, just regular cornflakes. I also like, although this is more along the lines of, the kitty, the multicolored kitty cereals, but I like the Captain Crunch. I like the simple. I think that's pretty simple, right? Captain Crunch. You know what I don't like? I don't like Frosted Flakes all that much. It's too much sugar. I just like cornflakes, Rice Krispies, maybe like Honey Nut Cheerios. I like Captain Crunch, or Cap'n, as it's spelled, Cap'n Crunch. And that goes well as a midnight snack. You know what? One of my favorites, and when this ever happens, and this is like woohoo, that's what I do in the kitchen. I'm like woohoo, is a cold pizza, just right out of the fridge, just a slice or 2 of cold pizza. Right out of the fridge, leftover pizza, right out of the fridge. Oh, man, that's perfect. And you know what else I also have sometimes, which this is probably controversial, is, salad, just a bowl, just like garden salad. With if there's some of that in there, that hits the spot too. I know most people. I've always liked that, so whatever. So those are my favorite midnight snacks. I don't think we have. We do have a little bit of apple butter left. We don't have any of those gigantic that Mondo box of cornflakes. We don't have any of that, and we don't have any pizza, and we don't have any salad. So I don't know, but anyway. So I'd like to get your feedback on that. If you want to call the hotline or whatever you want to do. If you want to put it in the comments, whatever, We have that fancy new the Surf Report Pod website with the comments. Nobody does it. Nobody comments. Producer Zip said, nobody's going to do that. That's nuts. You're pissing in the wind or something. I don't know. I don't know if that's an exact quote, but because people don't listen to the podcast sitting in front of a computer. They listen to it in their car. They're not somewhere where they can write comments. I'm like, I guess you're right. I didn't even think of it that way. But anyway, if you want to put it in the Surf Report Pod comments, please do. I'd like to know what your favorite midnight snacks are. And on a semi-related note, what's your opinion of milk? What are your thoughts on milk? I mean, I like it. I don't drink a whole lot of it. I put it on cereal, obviously, and sometimes when I come home from work and I'm, parched, for some reason, just a cold. I'm not talking about a full tumbler of milk. I'm talking about, we have these short little glasses. I guess they're made for juice. Fill one of those things up. It's like a small little glass. That thing does the trick, just a glass of ice cold, just regular milk. I think it's like 1%, 2%, I don't know. And it's that hits the spot, but I don't drink a whole lot of it. But when you think about it, that is disgusting. Milk, like the secretions, the chilled secretions of a bovine. You're just drinking like bodily fluids of some cattle, some kind of head, like livestock, like a head of livestock. Just the bodily fluids of oh God. I mean, that's disgusting when you think about it. But man, it's tasty. Sometimes it cuts through that thirst. Ain't nothing like a good old frosty glass of bovine secretions. You know what I'm saying? So everybody says, my father said it, and my grandfather before him. All right. Anyway, what's your thoughts on milk? I like it. I don't drink a whole lot of it. Tony's brother. This just popped into my head. He's like 50 or something, and he, like, everywhere we go, like, I haven't been around him a whole lot because he lives out in Nevada, or as some people say, Nevada. Those people are wrong, but they do say it. And anyway, Nevada, he lives out there, so we're not around him a whole lot. But like, we'll go out somewhere to a bar somewhere, or like a Mexican restaurant or whatever. Anywhere we go, he'll order a large milk. He orders like like we'll go to a bar and he'll say, give me a tequila sunrise and a large milk. Like, everywhere he goes, he gets a large tumbler of milk. I find that to be bizarre, but anyway, I drink it every once in a while, and like I say, when I come home from work, it hits the spot. It like really cuts through the thirst. Some things don't quench thirst. And some do, And another thing that really quenches your thirst, obviously water, but another non-water is Fresca. Everything I like is like little old lady stuff. I love Fresca. I love apple butter. Good Lord. Anyway, all right. Moving on. Give me your thoughts on milk too. I'm curious to know what you think. Let's see. I was going to talk about. I saw something the other day. I think it was on. It might have been on Reddit or somebody. Somebody was asking about your childhood bike or something, the bike you had when you were a kid. And I started thinking about, when I was a young kid, I wanted to talk about bicycles and some adventures I had on bicycles. Nothing too exciting, but like when I was a young kid, I had a 5-speed bike. I don't know what brand it was. I have a feeling it wasn't Schwinn or one of the big names. It could have been something like a Huffy or something like that. I don't remember. It was a 5-speed, just a regular, probably had a banana seat, you know what I'm saying? And, and I rode that shit. I rode that shit into the ground. I rode it all over town and got into all kinds of, adventures with this thing. All of us had similar bicycles, and we all just rode around in packs and got into all kinds of nonsense. I remember my friend Mike and we used to go over to, and you guys don't know, most of you don't know, but we used to go to this Baskin Robbins, which was over in South Charleston. And we'd have to go South Charleston, which is on the other side of the river, and down quite a ways, right? I mean, this is a distance. I don't know the exact, but it's not close, right? And we used to go across the Dunbar Toll Bridge, and then up Route 60. This great distance, it's like a real high. I mean, all kinds of traffic, It's a highly trafficked road. To go up there to go to that 30 wonderful flavors, we go up there and we get one of those, we get like a cone or whatever. And it was like miles and miles. I don't think our parents knew that we were going to cross the toll bridge, going over into a neighboring town on the other side of the river. I don't think they knew what we were doing. This is when we were kind of young, and we'd ride our bikes all the way down there just to get Baskin Robbins ice cream. And now when I go to the rare occasion I have Baskin Robbins, like, this stuff's not very good. It's like hard. I don't know. It's not. It's all right, but I'm like, back in those days, we were like, hell yeah. We're going to ride over there, get some Baskin Robbins. Hell to the yes, risk our lives, but tractor trailers, going by the mirror misses the back of your head by like a quarter of an inch, just to get a sugar cone with whatever, a slice, it's not a slice. God. Like a scoop of whatever. They had 30 wonderful flavors. They had lots to choose from. I used to be addicted to that chocolate chip, Anyway, used to do that on our bicycles. We used to do all kinds of, there was this trail behind Pierpont Elementary. You know what I'm saying? Over behind the Little League field. And it was a trail that kids used to ride their bike down. And my memory of it is it was literally straight down. Like there was no, it was just literally like 90 degrees, I guess. What is it? 90? Yeah. No, it just straight down. It was not level at all. It was like you went over the edge and just went straight down. It was just dirt, into the woods. You'd go deep into the woods. When you hit the bottom of that thing, you were traveling at a high rate. We used to do that shit. It was insane. It's crazy. And we used to ride. We used to do all kinds of stupid shit. We used to set up ramps and jump over, all kinds of insanity, right? And we also, another thing that we used to do, me and Mike again, there was this laundromat in the middle of town, and it was hot in there all the time because they had dryers and shit. There was no air conditioning. I don't think there was any AC in this place. So they always had the front door propped open and the back door propped open. The back door faced the alley, So we used to go over there and we'd just just ride our bikes right through the laundromat, And the woman that was running the thing, she'd be like, losing her mind, yelling at us, "Stop that, you don't ever come in here again." And we used to do this. So we'd ride straight in the front door, maneuver around the washing machines and the dryers and stuff and the folding tables and all that stuff, and right out the back door. And the woman would be waving her arms and jumping up and down. Oh, never failed to make us happy. Woman's like, never come in here again. What are you people, whatever. We used to do that. And then when I was older, when I got a little bit older, like high school age, I had a paper out. I was making good money. I was making good money. I had money all the time. I had that paper out for years and years until I was like a senior in high school, maybe like a junior in high school. I think when I was a junior in high school, I got that toll bridge job. But I had this thing deep into high school. And I always had money in my pocket because I was, I had a paper out, had over 100 customers. I was like living large. So I bought this bicycle. I saved up money. And I bought this bicycle it was a Schwinn Traveler, 10-speed bicycle. I don't know how old it was. Maybe junior high, late junior high, somewhere in that era. And it cost over $100, which back then was like, it seemed like an enormous. Everybody's like, "Are you serious? Are you sure? Do you want to do this?" And so I bought this Schwinn Traveler. It was red. Oh, it was a thing of beauty. I bought it from this place called John's Cyclery, which is in St. Albans. Still there, still open. When I was down there visiting my parents recently, we went by it. I was like, "Holy shit, that place is still open." Same sign and everything. John's Cyclery, right? That's where I bought it. That thing was a thing of beauty, right? I was like so proud of this thing. Okay, the first day I had it, I was out, riding. I was riding down, I went down Dunbar Avenue, went across the railroad crossing down there on 23rd Street. Are you with me? And I came down the other side of the railroad crossing. The crossing is elevated, so you have to go up one side, across the tracks, down the other side, right? I was coming down the 23rd Street crossing, and I don't know what happened, but I had to hit the brakes, and I wasn't used to the brakes, the hand brakes, the handlebar brakes, and I hit the brakes too hard, I guess. And the thing just locked up. I wasn't used to the brakes yet. So the thing just literally just locked up. And I went sailing over the handlebars. This is like within hours of me bringing this thing home, right? And I was so proud of it all. My grandparents come over and looked at it, and they're, this is like a big deal. I spent over $100, which is crazy. It was like I bought a Mercedes-Benz, right? This is like the day, like maybe an hour and a half after I brought this thing home, I crashed it. I went sailing over the handlebars, crashed the bicycle, screwed up the tape. There was like it was that, I don't know how you describe the handlebars, kind of swirls underneath. You know what I mean? Those 10 speeds used to be, where it like curls underneath, and it's covered in tape. So the tape was all jacked up. So the thing was all messed up, like on the very first day, like within hours of me bringing it home. And it was like that the rest of the time. I never got it fixed. It was like the thing was all messed up for forever. I loved the bike, and I rode the hell out of it, but I jacked up the tape on the handlebars within the hour. My knees were all scraped up, or elbow. I was like all jacked up too, But I was more upset about my brand new bicycle. Anyway, I was like, wonder what happened to that thing. It's one of those things in life. Like, where did that bicycle go? I have no recollection. I rode that thing all over. That thing was like, and I don't even know. I don't know what happened to it. I have no idea. Anyway. I spent a lot of time on bicycles. I don't think kids do that anymore. They put helmets on, elbow pads, knee pads. Their parents won't let them go, Everything's protected. We rode all over. We rode across like I said, across the toll bridge. We were over in neighboring, we were traveling miles and miles to get one scoop of mediocre ice cream at the Baskin and the Robbins. Both of them. were represented in their sign and the name of the store. Both Baskin. Anyway, thought I'd talk about that. And finally, I'm going to bring back it's not new. I'm going to bring back an old favorite right here.
Jeff K's Whistle Dick of the Week.
All right, that's right. We need to start. We need to start revisit this. Although it turned into the entire every episode is just me bitching about stuff. This one, all right. So earlier today, all right, here we go. Earlier today, I was looking at Instagram, and I follow, Instagram. I didn't know anything. I didn't really understand how that shit worked for years. I had Twitter and I have Facebook, and I never really enjoyed either one of them, to tell you the truth. I mean, I'll look at them, but there's so much stuff on there that irritates the shit out of me, especially Facebook. Well, I don't know. Twitter sucks too. I use Twitter for baseball news. That's basically what I use it for. Facebook, well documented. I've bitched about that for years. But Instagram, I held off. Like, I don't need another social media, like this TikTok. I've never been on that. I don't even know what it is. Don't have any interest in it. But I was the same way with Instagram. Then finally I joined it, and I find that Instagram is the best of them all as far as I'm concerned. But one of the things I did that was different when I started Instagram, I had already made mistakes, right? I made a lot of mistakes with Twitter and Facebook, and I corrected those mistakes with Instagram, right? So I do follow some human beings that I know in real life. I do follow a few people, but mostly it's bands and like hotels that we've stayed at, like resorts we've been to, like bars that we've visited, kinds of brand breweries, and like all kinds of rock stuff, and just so it's not like people. It's not so much people. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and I follow like. You can follow hashtags on there, which is great. In fact, I follow this hashtag Dunbar, West Virginia, just Dunbar, WV. And so if anybody posts anything and they include the hashtag Dunbar, West Virginia, it shows up in my feed. And there's somebody on there. I don't know what the story is with this. It's like pictures of some woman's giant ass, Well, it's not giant, but well. But it's in like, she's wearing like underwear. It's like lingerie. And it says Dunbar, West Virginia. It's like some woman. It's always like her ass like pressed up again, It's just like it's like, what is this? What the hell is this? And it's like Dunbar. It says Dunbar, West Virginia every time. It's some woman's ass wearing underwear. I don't know. Very strange. It's not really what I had in mind when I followed that hashtag. Anyway, so I don't follow so I don't get pictures of people's kids and their vacations and stuff. I mean, I do follow a few folks, but I keep that to a minimum. So I like that the best. Instagram's my favorite, right? So I was like, I follow Julian Lennon on there, John Lennon's son, And I was looking at, he was on there, and it had a picture of him and some woman. I was like, is he married? Did he ever get married? Like, I don't know anything about this guy. So I did a Google search for, is Julian Lennon married, right? So there's this conversation on some kind of bullshit website called Quora or something. And that was the question. It said, is Julian Lennon married, right? The very first answer was, why do you require Julian Lennon to be married? Some people decide that they don't want to get married. Like, shut the fuck, shut your ass. I hate people like that. It's like, all I want to know is, did he ever get married? I don't know. I mean, I'm just curious. I don't give a shit if he is or not. It doesn't matter. I'm just curious to know the answer to that question, because I don't know. And all I wanted to know was, Is Julian Lennon married, right? Not that I'm judging him in any way. I don't care. What do I care? What does it matter to me? I'm just curious to know the answer to that question. Why do you think that everybody has to be married? A corrector. Everybody loves to go on the internet, especially, but it happens in real life too. They just they're on high alert for an opportunity to correct and show everybody how perfect and wonderful and evolved they are, and how much of a deeper thinker than everybody else, right? It's is Julian Lennon married? Well, why do you require? Shut it. Just shut your hole and just knock it off with that. God, it irritates me so much. So you internet correctors, you real life correctors, you are the undisputed Whistle Dick of the Week. All right, we're at the end of this thing. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to be back next week, or no, later in the week or later. God, I botched that shit, didn't I? I'm going to be back later over on the Patreon site. If you want to hear that episode, you can do that by going over to patreon.com. It's Patreon, patreon.com/Jeff K. Sign up for a $4 or more monthly donation, and you'll gain access to an extra episode every week. Did you hear what I said? Every week, not every once in a while, not every month. That's for suckers. Every week you get an extra episode of this podcast, full length. So if you're interested in doubling down, supersizing your Surf Report experience, you can do that today. Patreon.com/Jeff K. And head over to that Surf Report Pod website. That's where I'm going to put a link to yesterday's Surf Report update and that picture from Fiverr. Oh, man, you're in for a treat. Good Lord. So that'll be there and some other stuff. I don't know. And but it's pretty good, I think. So I think you'll enjoy it. SurfReportPod.com. And if you want to follow my exploits over on the $10 Scratch-Off Project, I'm in I think I'm in 13 weeks. In the last 13 weeks, I buy one $10 scratch-off ticket a week, and I'm doing it for 52 weeks, so I'm going to see where I stand. We're getting near the end of this thing, and the last 13 weeks, I've won $10. So I had one $10 winner and 12 losers in the last 13 weeks. You can get all the details, how much, what the numbers are. It's not good, my friends. Not good at all. But if you're interested in checking it out, the WBSR.com/scratchoff is the place to go. All right, we're at the end of this thing. I'll see you soon over on the next time. It'll be over on Patreon, like I said. And until then, you guys have yourselves a fine, fine day. I'll see you. Bye.